Have you ever wondered who the real Cleopatra was, beyond the seductress image we often see in movies and literature? Here we delve into the life of the real Cleopatra, a woman of intellect and power, whose influence extended far beyond the shores of the Nile. Born into the Ptolemaic dynasty in 69 BC, Cleopatra was part of a Greek family that held the reins of Egypt following the death of Alexander the Great. She was not just Egyptian royalty. She was the product of a lineage that combined the might of Greece and the mystique of Egypt. Cleopatra's early life was steeped in the nuances of power politics. Growing up in the royal court, she was trained to rule, tutored in science, philosophy, and a host of other subjects that were essential for a monarch. But it was her linguistic prowess that truly set her apart. Cleopatra was a polyglot, fluent in as many as 9 languages. This not only speaks volumes about her intellect, but also her foresight. She knew that to be a successful ruler, she needed to communicate effectively with her subjects and allies alike. But Cleopatra was not just a scholar. She was a shrewd politician and a seasoned diplomat. Her charm and charisma were legendary, yes, but they were merely tools in her diplomatic arsenal. She used her intellect and her understanding of politics to navigate through the treacherous waters of power. Cleopatra wasn't just born into power, she was groomed for it, and she used it wisely. She was not just a queen draped in gold and fine linens. She was a leader, a scholar, a cunning diplomat, and an influential politician. This is the Cleopatra that history often overlooks, the woman who was as formidable in a political assembly as she was at a royal banquet. Her story is not just about power and seduction, it's about intelligence, resilience, and political acumen. So Cleopatra was not just a queen, but also a scholar, a politician, and a diplomat. But how did a young, educated woman become the most powerful ruler of Egypt? Cleopatra ascended to the throne at the tender age of 18, a mere child by today's standards, but a woman ready for power in her time. She initially co-ruled Egypt with her younger brother Ptolemy III, an arrangement that was common in the Ptolemaic dynasty to which they belonged. This was a dynasty that did not shy away from intermarriage among siblings to keep the power within the family, a tradition that might seem strange and even shocking to us today. However, the alliance between Cleopatra and Ptolemy was far from harmonious. Internal family conflict was rife, and before long, Cleopatra found herself ousted from power by her brother and his advisors, who sought to rule Egypt alone. But if there's one thing we know about Cleopatra, it's that she was not one to admit defeat easily. Cast out and on the run, she began to plot her return to power. Cleopatra was not just a queen, she was a master strategist, a shrewd politician who understood the value of alliances and the art of political maneuvering. She began to build alliances with powerful figures outside Egypt, notably Julius Caesar, the Roman general. With his help, she launched a counter-offensive against her brother, a civil war that would see her reclaim the throne. It was a risky move, but one that paid off. Cleopatra was once again the queen of Egypt, her power more secure than ever, thanks to her alliance with Rome. This was just the beginning of Cleopatra's clever political maneuvering. Throughout her reign, she would continue to form alliances and manipulate situations to her advantage, always with the aim of maintaining her power and protecting Egypt from Roman domination. Cleopatra was a masterful politician, using alliances and cunning to maintain her power. Her ascension to the throne, her fall, and her triumphant return to power is a testament to her political acumen, her resilience, and her unyielding determination to rule Egypt on her own terms. Now, what about her famous romances with 2 of the most powerful men of her time? Cleopatra's relationships with Julius Caesar and later Mark Antony have been immortalized in art and literature, but they were much more than passionate affairs. These were calculated alliances, forged to safeguard Egypt's independence and her own position of power. Let's start with Julius Caesar. When Cleopatra first met Caesar, she was seeking an ally against her brother, Ptolemy XIII, who was vying for control of Egypt. Caesar, captivated by Cleopatra's charm and intelligence, became that ally. Their connection wasn't just romantic, it was a union of 2 leaders with mutual interests. Cleopatra regained her throne, and Caesar secured Egypt as a loyal ally to Rome. From their union came a son, Caesarion, who Cleopatra claimed was the heir to Caesar's empire. Now, on to Mark Antony. After Caesar's assassination, Cleopatra found another ally in Mark Antony, one of Caesar's most trusted generals. Their alliance was, again, a blend of the personal and the political. Antony needed Cleopatra's wealth to fund his military campaigns, while Cleopatra needed Antony to protect Egypt from Rome's growing power. Together, they had 3 children, further cementing their alliance. But these alliances weren't just about power and politics. They also showcase Cleopatra's intelligence and charisma, her ability to form bonds with powerful men who could help her protect Egypt's sovereignty. They reveal her as a shrewd strategist, a woman who wasn't afraid to use love and alliance as tools in her political arsenal. So when we talk about Cleopatra's relationships with Caesar and Antony, let's not forget the context. These weren't just romances. They were strategic partnerships designed to maintain the balance of power in a volatile world. Cleopatra's alliances were more than love stories. They were strategic moves on the chessboard of power. But all stories must come to an end. What happened to Cleopatra and her kingdom? The demise of Cleopatra's reign was as dramatic as her life, marked by the ebb of her power after the death of Mark Antony. Their love story, a tale of passion and political alliance, ended in tragedy when Antony, defeated by Octavian, fell on his sword. His death marked the beginning of the end for Cleopatra and Egypt. Rome, thirsty for power and expansion, set its sights on Egypt. With Antony gone, there was little standing in the way of their imperial ambitions. The Roman invasion was swift and decisive, effectively ending Cleopatra's reign. But it's the final chapter of Cleopatra's life that is shrouded in the most mystery. The last pharaoh of Egypt, caught in the relentless grip of unfolding events, chose to meet her end on her own terms. According to popular belief, she died from a self-inflicted snakebite, a death befitting her dramatic life. However, the truth remains elusive, lost in the sands of time. Cleopatra's end was not just the end of a single life, but the end of an era. Upon her death, the Egypt of the pharaohs, a civilization that had lasted for 3 millennia, was no more. With Cleopatra's death, the era of the pharaohs ended, and Egypt became a province of the Roman Empire. So, what is Cleopatra's legacy centuries after her death? Cleopatra, the last active ruler of Ptolemaic Egypt, left an enduring impact as a strong, intelligent woman who fiercely defended her nation's sovereignty. Her persona has been romanticized, vilified, and mythologized over time. Cleopatra's legacy transcends her life, casting a lasting shadow over the sands of history. Yet it is her unwavering tenacity and intellect that truly define her. Cleopatra, a queen, a scholar, a mother, a lover, and a ruler. Her legacy, complex and enduring, continues to captivate us even today.